Hi everyone, it's Ray from Ray Life Coaching at Middle River Yoga Studio in Stafford Springs, Connecticut. And I come to these sessions with you with very little preparation. I come with just out of the blue thinking, and some days are harder than others. But today, a lot of things been swirling in my head, usually related to how other people respond to either what I teach or what we're talking about. It could be personal or in class. And the past few days, I've noticed that I've been talking about the flow, going with the flow. And I rewatched two of the videos that I recently post with you on meditation, and I realized how confusing it may be. Because this subject is very nuanced. And unless you really tap into your own gut intuition and then start investigating how certain things play out when you respond a certain way to a feeling, an inclination, a thought, when your own words start to play out in your world, whether it be in thought or speech or both, and how those words are charged by what's going on an emotional level and a feeling-based level inside of you. And so when I say feelings, it really is a huge part of our vibration. And if you feel free and light and open and like anything's possible, and you say something that could be normally construed as negative or very blunt, or could be construed as really harsh, it probably will come off differently. Like if you say, "I love you," and you don't, and you're feeling really like, meh. Or if you say, "I hate you," it could come off so differently. So words are one thing, right? They're important for sure. But the vibration underneath the words, I think, are more important. And sometimes, if you're not conscious, that vibration will determine your words. And so, how does this relate to the flow? Well, I think it relates a lot, because if you don't know where you sit when it comes to vibrations and what is happening internally with your self-talk, if you're not able to disconnect from your talk, really, to see it as separate from you, then you will take on all of these things unconsciously, and that will play out outside of you. So if someone asks you to do something, you might not be able to consciously make a choice because you're not conscious within your own self. You don't know what these things happening inside really mean to you. You haven't tested them out. You haven't experienced and really made sense of them for yourself. Of course, the more you do that, the more you tap in and really start to investigate, okay, when I do this and when I say this, when I feel this, this is what happens. Okay, when I switch it, move over here, oh, this feels good. Oh, this is what happens. And realizing, like, I want more of that, so I'm gonna work on moving toward that each time I seem to kind of sway toward my habit, which might not be giving me what I want. So going with the flow to me is when you're feeling really good, when you're in that positive space that's like, I could pretty much say anything could happen outside of me, and I'm still okay. I'm still like, wow. And maybe in my head I'm going, wow, I feel like I should not be okay, but I am, because it feels unusual, because it's unusual to you. It's maybe a new occurrence. That's possible too. But you're in that flow state where you're really listening to your inner body and your emotional state, your vibration, and your mind, and how they work in unison, and how that affects everything outside of you. And so you can make choices based on this inner movement and guide it. Be the adult. Be the separate, and be like, okay, yeah, we're okay. Right now we're going over here, and I really want to be over here. So what brings me over here? Okay, this focus brings me over here. So let's guide that over there. And it may mean doing things. So the flow might not be all that easy in the beginning. It might be really hard because you're so used to and habit of taking care of others, listening to society and what it says you're supposed to be doing. It may be a lot of rewashing, brainwashing yourself toward the flow state instead of, going toward the brainwashing of something that makes you feel really stuck. It makes you feel really like unheard and lonely and all that. So how do you do that? Well, it's baby steps. It really is. In the beginning, like learning anything, it's baby steps. And this work right here is one of the baby steps. This is hard work right here. Because even just getting yourself to sit down and be quiet and still for even a second can be difficult. It can be like, I don't need that. Well, yeah, you do. Yeah, you do, because in order to listen, you may need to create a space that's really, really safe and easy. And first, that's the first thing. So I hope that makes sense to you, because I was hearing a lot of people say, they get very confused by the outside world as if that is the determinant of what needs to happen. Like, the universe told me to do this. Well, the universe might be testing you. Yes. Testing you in a way like, oh, you said you wanted this, but you said it in a negative way. So tell me what you really want. Be more clear. Let me show you this side, which is, let me test you over and over. So this happens to me all the time, just so you know, where I might not be all that clear. I might say a negative statement instead of the positive, like, I don't want this. Okay, well, it's going to show up multiple times. And it's going to be like, oh, well, you said this. It doesn't know no or don't. It knows the thing that you're saying. And so it's going to show up in your presence, and you're going to have to prove it. You're going to say, well, I said I didn't want it. Okay, well, then show me you don't want it, and say no to it, and then look somewhere else. But so the universe is nature. It's like your pet. It only understands in feeling state, in symbols. And so if you aren't in that vibration, it's not going to match something you're not in. If you're in the no state of like, I don't want this, negative, 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 it's just going to keep on showing you that. It's going to show you wherever you're at. And if you're in this positive, in the place that feels very flow, even if those negative things show up, you'll be like, ha ha ha, You're like, no, no, no. You know, like that's, yeah, that's, you might not even see them, which is pretty damn amazing. So, okay, I'm done with the little lecture. I'm learning that I am continuously learning how amazing this is, because when you do work in this way of refocusing yourself, synchronicity happens all the time, and it's just so enlightening, really. It's like, yay, wow, amazing. Our journey, this life is a journey. It's a beautiful exploration. And yes, sometimes it gives us, some fun little tests and some really hard moments that we have to work through. But those work throughs are also beautiful. I mean, I hate to say it, they are. That grit makes a pearl, right? They can turn to beauty. So, let's get back to meditation. Okay. So find a spot that feels good to you, where you can be aligned, and still hold some openness, and not feel so stiff in your core that your back and stomach muscles aren't gripping, your hips and legs aren't gripping, so you have enough supports around you. Close your eyes or look about 2 to 3 feet ahead of you with a soft gaze and eyes slightly open. And release your brow and during this moment of the train, we're just going to focus on our breath. So it might be a few minutes. Just use the loud sounds and breathe with them. Let all of the stress go with the train. Let all the thoughts go with the train. Let the muscles around the eyes and the forehead go as you exhale. That was a very short train. Really feel how the breath enters the body through the nostrils. Here it comes again. Let your exhalations lengthen, and imagine that the stress exits your body and hops onto the train away. And all the energy the train exudes goes into your body like light. And exhale it all away back onto the train. All the stress, all the holding. It's as if the weights on your shoulders have disappeared, gone as far as the train is gone. Bring the tongue away from the palate of the mouth and sink it back into the throat. Notice how that opens up the ear canals from the tops of the ears down to the bottom of the throat. Allowing the jaw to release even further. As the mouth is still closed, you're breathing through the nose. Feel the breath enter into the body through the nostrils and the sensations of the breath as it enters. All the way down into the throat, into the lungs, into the diaphragm, into the belly. Bloating up the belly and up the back of the spine into the top of the head. Tuck the chin in slightly and extend the back of the neck as you exhale from the forehead all the way down. Let it releasing all the skin from the forehead down to the chin, throat to the ribs, and all the way. Let the belly sink back into the spine. And create this loop with your breath, breathing in all the way down into the lower belly, and all the way up to the top of the head, and exhale from the forehead all the way down the body. Let the belly sink back into the spine and down. Let the shoulders go with it and the hands go with it. Let's do that in silence now. At this moment, start to pay attention to your seat and the extension of your tailbone, deepening into your seat. Feel the parts of your body that lie on the floor, and the hands where they sit on your body or the floor. Notice a grounding that happens, a releasing into the ground. Allow that to help you extend as you breathe in. From the tailbone up into the top of the head, keeping that extension as you exhale, letting all the other things go. The muscles, the tissue, the organs, the skin, and all the thoughts. And notice how this grounding allows your upper body to feel a little lighter. Or the parts that are facing the sky a little lighter. A little bit more open to the breath. Receptive. Because they have somewhere to land. And as thoughts come into your mind, in your space. I want you to just recognize them as friends passing by and truly recognize the feelings that are within in relationship to these words, these thoughts. We're going to do that for the next 5 minutes. So in silence, if any words, thoughts come by, if you can catch yourself, go within and say, what am I feeling in relationship to these thoughts? Find the feeling in the body and a name for the feeling. And then just let them go. Breathe out the emotion. They don't have to stay. Let's do that in silence. Allow yourself to come back to the breath after each time, using the breath as your foundation, your concentration. Let it soothe you and relax you. And if you find words passing by and allowing yourself to really feel the emotion that they evoke, putting a word to it, and if you want to take it to the next stage, imagine that emotion and those words become a person outside of you. Envision what they look like and let them walk on by as you exhale. And if you are having any pain in your body, and that is the only thing you can pay attention to, imagine that pain also has a feeling and words. Treat it just like thoughts passing by. Let it share with you what it's feeling and what it's saying to you. As you exhale, imagine it as a person, again, passing on by. On your next inhalation, slowly bring yourself into this room. Really feeling how your body is seated, what you're touching, and how your clothes feel on your body. Notice the air around you and any smells as you breathe in. Swallow and taste what's in your mouth. And start to move your fingers and toes and your face. Rotate your neck. And on your next inhalation, slowly open your eyes. Here we are. So it's a good exercise to kind of get back into your body, listen to your thoughts and your emotions, and then really see them as separate. I keep on doing this because it's worth it. It's important. Okay, good luck everybody. Have a great day.